going on, everyone? Welcome to the 8th episode of the KBJ podcast. Looks like there's just going to be two of us tonight. Somebody's sleeping in a little bit, so hopefully y'all be good with just us two here. Start off the evening with a few NFL topics. We might barge into something else, but we'll stick with NFL for now.
Actually, hold on. Luke has got 41 in the first half right now.
41 in the first half. Wow.
Yeah.
Who are they playing?
They are playing
The
the Hawks. Yeah.
It's on third now. 46 points.
He's got 40. He had 41 in the first.
Oh, man, I'd love to see this guy drop like 90.
17 for 22 as well. It's not like he's shooting bad. He's hitting.
Oh, dude, Luka is a dog. So
He's on pace for a triple-double, too.
Oh, I'd love to see him hit like a 70-point triple-double or something. But aside to that, we'll start with the Kelsey Swift script. So I know I had talked to you about it a little earlier in the week. Essentially, JPA posted on Twitter that it was rumored that there was a script leaked that the Chiefs make the Super Bowl against Baltimore. They go on to win the Super Bowl, and then at the end of the game, Travis Kelce will propose to Taylor Swift. Now, as dumb as that may sound, I can see it. So, I mean, all I'm saying is it's awful sketchy that 2 minutes after he made that post, it got taken down. I mean, and he says he did not take it down. So, it's pretty sketchy, and if it comes to actually happen, it's going to look pretty bad for the NFL, in my opinion.
I mean, he could be trolling. Like, I could see it as a troll. But in the mind of a billion-dollar company, you could have the Chiefs with the whole Swifty Kelce thing versus a team that hadn't won a playoff game in 50 years, making it to the Super Bowl. It comes down to the wire. Make a real good show out of it, and then that happens, dude, it would break records. So, like, honestly, I could see him pulling it. All I know is I have now put money on the Chiefs to win the game because it is very, very believable. Like, I know that they've had this whole script thing leak in the past and nothing's came about of it.
Well, it's kind of like the Super Bowl colors every year. They say like the two colors the teams make.
But it's hit every year too.
And it's two teams away from hitting this year.
But like I could see it. I could really see it. But the problem is with that is the colors that set it up this year is Baltimore Niners.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I like if they are really about rigging games and making money, that script would make mad money. Like it would be huge. It don't have to be the Detroit, but there would be so many people tune into that game.
Oh, 100%.
Just to watch Detroit maybe win a Super Bowl, even though I could really see them setting this up for Kansas City to win this and the Kelce thing, because he did tweet that he heard say on his podcast that he plans on making Valentine's very special for Taylor Swift, and the game is on the 11th. 3 days before Valentine's Day, so like,
oh, man, it's
pretty believable.
I mean, I'm not surprised.
My thing is at this point, would they really have the balls to do it now? Since people have seen it, it's been talked about. So do they have the balls to go through with it? Never know.
Never know. We will move into the Falcons signing Raheem Morris. Man, that's
curveball. That was out of left field for me.
He's got a Super Bowl under coordinator under his belt. He did beat the Bengals, but I just feel like there was better options there.
I did hear that Belichick is furious that they went with any direction but him.
I can see why.
I mean, I'm not mad at the Raheem Morris sign, like, but man, that was just out of left field for me. Just completely out of left field.
Yeah, man, it's one of those things. I didn't see it coming. Like I really didn't.
Yeah,
But
because his tenure with Tampa Bay was not good. His little interim head coach for the Falcons was not good, and he was a defensive coordinator for the
Rams.
Rams, but that was when they had like an absolute ridiculous
That was
defense
back
with
when they
like
still had
Von
Ramsey
Miller,
and everybody.
Jalen Ramsey, like the Super Bowl team. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like if you've got Belichick sitting there wanting to coach for you, how you pass on it.
I'm with
But
you
yeah,
on
I
that
did
big time.
see that the reports are he's furious.
Mm-mm-mm.
Speaking of that, do you think he calls it quits now?
There's no way he takes coordinator job. I mean, there's
No,
no way
no
he
way.
takes coordinator job.
Well, there's still two head coaching jobs open, aren't they? Or is that the
You got
final?
Washington.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I can't see him going to Washington.
I don't know, man. I'm not saying it's a good fit, but you never know.
I don't know. I see him as kind of like a win now type of guy. Like he kind of wants to win games now. He don't really want to rebuild
Right,
because
right.
his retirement's coming soon. Like it's inevitable at this point. I mean, how old is Belichick?
He's in his 70s.
Belichick is he's born in
71.
52. Yeah, I mean his end is soon.
Yeah.
I really couldn't believe it when I got the notification that Raheem Morris was signed by the Falcons. I was like, really? Like his resume is not that good. I don't know. But I mean, said kind of the same stuff around Callahan as the Titans head coach. Just a
Kind of
lot
how I
of
feel.
a lot of wild signings, like of people out of left field.
Move into the Debo and Mark Andrews are both listed as active for
They are
Sunday
set
games.
to play.
That
They've both
is
been announced to
huge for
set to
both
play
teams.
for both teams.
Yeah,
Debo's
100%.
massive for the Niners,
Oh,
and Mark Andrews is. I like.
just a second. Let me shut this door, but keep talking on it.
I don't really think Andrews is as huge as Debo is for the Niners because really the Ravens have gotten away with some pretty decent backup play out on the tight end position, but like when we watched the Niners play without Debo, it was McCaffrey, and that was about it.
Oh, yeah.
So Debo coming back is huge. It takes some pressure off McCaffrey. It takes some pressure off Ayuk. Takes some pressure off Kittle. Like them being a full team is dangerous, and Debo's a huge part of that. So I think if he can play, honestly, 70% healthy, it'll be huge to play in the Lions.
Yeah, man, it's
But I mean, obviously, Mark Andrews probably a top 5 tight end in the NFL. So I mean, it's going to be big for him. But they have gotten away with some stellar play from Lamar, and backup tight end position has just been killer for him.
I agree, man. It's gonna be a tough game. Like I feel like
I think both sides, like
I feel like
both
the
AFC
Ravens
and NFC, is going to be close.
the Ravens are gonna have a tough matchup. Regardless of Patrick Mahomes not having any
I,
weapons, it's gonna be a
yeah,
tough matchup.
unfortunately, man, the Chiefs are just always there, man. That they are never out. That's always there. Because everybody was calling this a down year. I was calling it a down year. I was like, man, there ain't no way Kansas City has a chance to go to the Super Bowl. And here we are with some questionable things happen through the playoffs and a possibly rigged game in Buffalo. Because I don't know. Did you ever watch that kick?
And I didn't like focus on it. I watched it live.
Go look at the flags. There's like no wind when he kicks that ball, and it just jerks right
Yeah.
hard.
And Tyler Bass ain't known to miss very many field goals.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just the new Patriots. It's the new Patriots, is what it is.
Yep.
And it's so sad because when that first started, everybody was pulling for the Chiefs. Everybody wanted Mahomes to get him a ring. Everybody liked Travis Kelce.
I
And
think
now they've just become like everyone hates him.
I think a lot of it has to do with like Mahomes' wife, his brother,
and then
Travis
Swift.
Kelce and Swift, things like that. It's just
I don't
there's
even
too much outside stuff going on with them.
I actually didn't mind it at first, but dude, when you've seen it all season, like it just gets old, man. I'm tired of seeing it. And they say, well, they was showing Eminem during the Detroit game. Well, I ain't heard Eminem all season. They don't go, hey, look, there's Eminem. Let's focus on him while there's a touchdown being scored. Like,
Right.
I'm just so tired of her being on the screen.
I agree.
And her being on the screen automatically means Mahomes' wife is going to be on the screen. And golly, I can't stand that woman. Cannot stand her.
I know what you mean.
I never thought I would pull for Baltimore Ravens, but dude, do I hope they win so much. Like, I hope Lamar goes out and looks like a just absolute MVP.
We'll move into the Joe Flacco situation. Do you think he returns, or do you think that was his final stand, or you think he comes back for another year?
I'm sure there's plenty of teams that would take a shot on him. Like, I don't see why not.
I don't think he goes back as the starter.
Nah, if he comes back, it's gonna be as pretty much what he was designed to do this year. Like, they kind of pulled him out there to just hope, really.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no way that you bench Deshaun. Like, you're paying him too much.
Well, I mean, Deshaun's not bad. It's just
he's got a lot of outside things surrounding him that keeps.
Yeah, and he's not like $200 million good either. That's the big problem. Now, when he was with the Texans before the whole issue
100%.
broke down, he was 100% worth that contract. But now, man, he's just falling apart. Yeah. It's not looking good for old Deshaun. But I could see, someone picking up Flacco if he actually wants to come back. I mean, the dude looked tired. And he does have a big issue with turnovers, at which he's always had issues with turnovers, but now it's like he really don't care. He throws the thing and does not care, doesn't think twice about it. But yeah, I could see Flacco. Somebody would give him a shot, just he's kind of like in the Nick Foles role at this point.
Right.
He's just there, just in case.
And he's not a bad gig to have a backup.
No, I mean he could beat out some of the starters in the NFL at this point.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I think he comes back. Like you said, not as a starter, but he'll definitely come back as reserve. We'll move over into the finalist for the NFL awards. Now, I know most of them, but I don't know all of them, so I might have to pull these up.
Well, yeah, for the MVP.
I know the MVP.
I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's everybody thought. Deron Bland made it into the Defensive Player of the Year.
I did see that. Which Bland had a pretty good season.
Max Crosby also snuck in there. Offensive Player of the Year is what everybody thought. I basically think the MVP is either going to be Lamar or McCaffrey, and then the Offensive Player of the Year is going to be the opposite.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Somehow Tyreek wins Offensive Player of the Year, because he honestly could deserve it too. I can't believe he's not even in the mention of most MVP.
Tyreek did have a very solid season. I don't understand. I don't get the Dak being up there. The Dak kind of question marks me a little bit.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they do based on regular season. Right. And regular season Dak was an animal. He was playing. But honestly, I think really for the MVP, Stroud could have snuck in there somewhere. Over maybe Brock Purdy.
I was looking at the offensive rookie of the year, and I know Stroud had a great season.
But Puka.
But the whole offensive rookie of the year, every one of them, man, they're stout. Jahmyr Gibbs, phenomenal.
The only one I don't think would be in contention as Bijan, because he just didn't get
Yeah,
used
and it's
as much. as the
exactly.
rest.
It's not Bijan's fault.
And Jameer at the beginning of the season didn't really get used much either. They were using David Montgomery like a lot. But like Sam Laporta, Puka Nakua, and CJ, it's tough. Especially with Nakua and CJ both breaking records.
Right. Yeah.
And Nakua broke a playoff record, which
Yeah,
I know they don't
Nakua,
put in
magnificent.
playoffs. But defensive rookie of the year is about what everyone thought, except Kobe Turner. I didn't really see him coming into the defensive rookie of the year talks, but I think that's pretty much locked up for Jalen Carter. Even though Will Anderson had a damn good season. Comeback player of the year, unfortunately, I think that's pretty much secured at this point.
Yeah, man.
They're going to probably give it to Hamlin.
Out of all the players on that list, I think Baker deserves it the most.
Or Joe Flacco.
Or Flacco.
I don't see how Tua even makes this list.
I don't even know how
Stafford, I don't know how he makes this list. And I'm sorry, but DeMar played like 3 snaps this season. I don't see how he makes the list. I get the dude like died on the field. I'm not taking that away from, but comeback player of the year is someone that plays.
Exactly.
They come back and play. He didn't play. Like they put him in pretty much to say, hey, he played. Come back.
Yeah.
But like even before that injury, no one even knew who that was. He was like I don't even know if he started. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure
Vince McMahon just resigned as WWE chairman because of those charges that got brought onto him earlier today.
Oof. Well, he stepped down as like the thing a while ago because the game Triple H took over.
Yeah, but I mean, like, he was still a part of it.
The WWE's been going downhill for so long. Man,
Plain, dude. Plain. You know I don't like mustard, dude.
Dang, son. I remember back in the day, the WWE used to be so much fun. And now it's just, they're pushing that one guy, Roman Reigns or whatever his name is.
Oh, yeah.
He's freaking trash. Coach of the year, if that's not Dan Campbell, it's rigged. Honestly, though, D'Amico Ryans could, D'Amico Ryans or Dan Campbell, I would be okay with. But really, Dan Campbell should get it.
Anyone besides Stefanski ain't bad, but he's not my number one.
I don't think you give it to Shanahan either. Like, you could have any coach out there winning with that team. And I'm sorry, but Harbaugh also, like, almost anyone could win with that team.
Now, the assistant coach of the year, man, you got both Ravens coordinators on there. That's like,
and honestly, their defensive coordinator should win it.
Yeah, McDonald. I remember when we hired him, man, I was like, "What is this?"
Even Bobby Slowick, though. I mean, Houston's offense exploded this year.
Yeah, Houston's man, they're headed in the right direction. For real.
I don't see Cleveland's defensive coordinator being a winner. I guess Ben Johnson could. But I don't know, man. Their offense ain't like that impressive to me.
Mm-hmm.
As a Houston Texans who's doing it with a rookie quarterback, rookie receiver, like rookies everywhere.
Wow,
and they're just like one of the best offenses this season.
I'm just gonna go down the list and give mine when you're done. That's the easiest way for me.
Hey, go ahead.
MVP. It's gonna be Lamar. Yeah. It's gonna be Lamar.
I gotta agree with you.
CMC at Offense Player of the Year. I say Tyreek finishes a close second. But I say CMC takes it. CeeDee Lamb even too. CeeDee Lamb didn't finish far behind Tyreek. So, he could be in the talks there too. But I've got CMC taking that. Defensive Player of the Year. Deserving it. TJ.
It's TJ. But it's going to be Garrett.
I say Myles Garrett gets it.
He's now, don't get it.
Don't get me wrong. Bland had 5 pick sixes this year for the Cowboys.
Yeah, he broke the record, but
That's pretty impressive.
It is impressive, but see, that's an issue. Is like, what do you value more?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, scoring touchdowns is like insane defensively, but like, I don't know. It's difficult because a pass rusher and a corner is just two total. Like, a pass rusher is not here to get interceptions.
I think it should be like you should have a defensive line player of the year, linebacker, and DB.
Kind
Split
of
up.
like in college where it's like the
Mhm.
Biliknikov and all them.
But I
Like, it's the
understand when they
same
do
with,
that,
like,
they
it's
get
the
too
same
many
with
awards.
yeah, but it's the same with like an MVP because at this point, just make a quarterback award and then give the rest of the skill because skill positions you'd have to. I mean, McCaffrey'd have to have like 4,000 all-purpose yards, 72 touchdowns. Because like a quarterback's just always going to be
It's a quarterback award,
rated
100%.
higher. I mean, you got to think some of the seasons people have had to win MVP as a non-quarterback, and then also in those years, quarterbacks had down years. Like no one really wowed anybody, so it's just a difficult. Like I guess that's why they have the offensive player of the year. That's more of a skilled position
Right.
because usually a skilled position does win offensive player of the year.
Mm.
But like when I think most valuable, like Lamar, obviously I think he is the most valuable to his team, so I'm cool with him winning it. But McCaffrey is like the most valuable offensive player on that team. Like it's hands down.
Yeah.
He just does it all. But yeah, I'm cool with Lamar winning it. Anyone else, I'd probably be pretty upset about it. Because like Dak, he's not the most valuable player on that offense.
No, he's got stacks.
It's CD Lamb. He's the most valuable player on that offense. And then Brock Purdy, he's like almost last most valuable player on that offense.
Brock Purdy surrounded by studs.
Literally everywhere.
Yeah.
He's
Offensive
got
line, tight end, wide receivers, and running back.
yeah. I mean, a dude to have like a top 5 tight end, a top 5 receiver, also a top 10 receiver, and the best running back in the world. And then you have the best left tackle in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's
The whole offensive line as a whole ain't bad.
no. I mean, that team's loaded. That's why, like, you could never, could you even pick a defensive player of the year for a 49ers when there's like
Yeah.
10 all-pros?
I think Fred Warner is the most valuable on their defense, but
Yeah, but man, you've got Bosa. You've got so much on that defense. It's hard to.
Hufanga, Armstead, Hargrove, you can name their whole defense, and it's just stud after stud after stud.
Like, it's
Which I know Hufanga's out, but he's still a stud, man.
that team's stupid.
But I think Stroud wins Rookie of the Year. But
I really would like to see Nick Puka win it.
I think Puka deserves it, but Stroud will get it. It's kind of
Stroud's going to get it because also, I mean, he's a quarterback.
Right.
I mean, both of them had, like, who would have thought you had 2 record-breaking rookies? You, like,
Yeah.
hardly ever see that.
I think,
And then you have 2 of them.
Defense Rookie of the Year, Jalen Carter for the Eagles.
It's
bad as
locked.
I hate the Eagles, but man, they're pretty good.
I mean, to fall to the 9th pick,
Yeah.
I get he had the off-field issues, but dude, that dude was a number 1-2 pick, easy.
But
I think he was a better pick than Will Anderson.
Oh yeah. Coach of the Year, it's like you said, it's got to be either Dan Campbell or D'Amico Ryans. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it's gotta be.
I think Campbell takes it though. If we're going.
Yep. Honestly, see that's where you should kind of include postseason
Right.
with coach, because Dan Campbell, 50 years. This team went 50 years without a playoff win, and he's got them honestly with a chance at the Super Bowl. All it takes is the Niners to have another bad night, like they've had multiple games in a row now. I mean, really, the only thing saving them at this point is they've got so much talent. That's because they've had very losable games
Oh yeah. 100%.
all throughout these playoffs.
100%. But I think Assistant Coach of the Year, I'm gonna take Mike McDonald for the Ravens. Todd
Yeah.
Monken had a good season, man, but McDonald just led a phenomenal defense.
Yeah, a defense that really no one expected to be like top 5.
I mean, don't get me wrong, they had a good defense, but Patrick Queen wasn't what he was this year, last year, and neither was Kyle Hamilton.
Oh, Kyle Hamilton. I said it when he was in the draft. Like he should have been a top 10 pick.
Last year they were kind of
He was
under the radar, but this year, man, both of those guys exploded for us. I mean, look what he done with Jadeveon Clowney.
Their pass rush, man, has just been so disgusting. Like
Jadeveon Clowney's been in the league for 10 years and never had a season like he's having.
He's got the perfect balance of rushing the quarterback or dropping off the quarterback.
But comeback player of the year, DeMar Hamlin takes it, but I think Baker deserves it.
Yeah, I would have to go Baker, Joe. Like, because Joe Flacco was literally sitting on his couch, got a call, came in, brought him to the playoffs, and then Baker just went from getting benched in Carolina. And I do know that the Buccaneers have a great offense. They still have everything that Tom Brady had when he won the Super Bowl, but Baker's not Tom Brady, you know.
Right.
Like he came out this year and said, "Oh well, I could be a starting quarterback here, and you could definitely sign me, get me a couple pieces, and we're back in Super Bowl hunt." Because Mike Evans getting older, even though I still think you keep him around, he's still
100%.
producing. But Rashad White, you know, he's really excelled as a option out of the backfield. But you know, you get him like another decent wideout, maybe a tight end.
It's gonna be crazy.
Scary. They could be scary.
We'll move over into Michigan hiring Sharon Moore. I think that was the best option they could have took for sure.
Yeah, I mean, him and like a couple other coaches kind of coached while Harbaugh was out.
Mm-hmm.
He won games, you know. I mean, really, like you could have picked any of them, but I think he is the better option. Like that's a good choice. They didn't try and go out here and sign anybody from another school that had a fluke of a season. You know, they kept it with one of the coaches inside the organization. I always like that.
And he coached under Bob Stoops for a while. And, you know, I know you hate him, but Stoops is a legend.
He can suck my balls.
But, you know, moving into Twitter. Or, I'm sorry, X now. No longer Twitter, X. Is going to be doing sports betting.
Dude. Yeah, I wonder how they're going to go about that.
I don't know. Hopefully they do like a, you know, bet $5 and get 500 in free bets or something.
I mean, Elon Musk has the money.
I will definitely be signing up, I can assure you.
Yeah. It is. He hasn't really said how he's going to go about like integrating it into like the platform. I'm trying to find like if he said anything about how they're going to try and do it. Because I mean that's kind of a weird thing to get into. But, you know, I mean Elon's doing some crazy stuff with Twitter, changing the name and whatnot. So we'll see.
Yep. The biggest news, I think, of the week, Chargers hire Jim Harbaugh.
Yep.
That's
good choice. It's a good choice.
I think they couldn't have done it any better. I think that was destined to be.
I just wonder now if he's going to stick with Herbo. Like, if he's going to stay with him.
Oh, 100%. I mean, look at how much they paid him. They don't really have an option.
I don't know, man. He was gassing up McCarthy, and he's got a chance to take McCarthy.
Yeah, but there's no way you let go of Herbo.
Nah, I don't think you do either, but...
Especially the amount of money they got in him. No way.
My only issue with him going as the Chargers is... Like, he's obviously a defensive-minded coach, and he
Right.
stepped into a team with like one of the worst defenses I've ever seen. So, like, unless they plan to let him, kind of rebuild that team, because I don't think the Chargers are contenders at this point. I
They need
don't
some
think they have
help.
enough options offensively, and I think their defense is terrible. Because we've seen it with the Dolphins. Offense only gets you so far. Like, and once the Dolphins got in the playoffs or towards the end of the season where they played real talent, they flopped. I mean, I don't remember over 500 team they beat this season. And they go into the Chiefs. I get it, it's a cold game, but if you're going to lose games because it's cold, and the statistic is they're like 0-12 or something in just 40-degree weather. Anything under 40, that's embarrassing. Like, I get you play in a warm weather climate, but like, that's just I don't get how. I don't know.
It's I don't know, man. I think you got to stick with Herbie. It's just another big thing is one of the star pass rushers in the league hitting free agency, Mr. Josh Allen.
Yeah, they
That's
said they got $12 million, and they said they're confident he comes back. Whether that's franchise tag, because I'd highly doubt he signs a contract for what they have available to pay him.
oh yeah, it has to be franchise tag. The chicken, quit, dog.
I did see him confident, but they also got Lawrence to worry about soon.
Yeah.
He officially finished his third season. Next year they have to either talk about the fifth-year option or extending him. And quarterbacks that are like probably your franchise guy, you want to extend them quick,
100%.
or he can turn down his option and leave.
Yeah, because like Baltimore did, they franchise tagged Lamar to keep him until they
And
paid
they were
him.
on the verge. They were on the verge. They had to overpay, really.
Yeah, we were on the verge of losing him. Like, it was damn close.
Now, I do think Lamar's worth like a lot of money, but what they paid him is probably more than he should have got. For which, now that he's possibly going to the Super Bowl, it looks like a good idea. But before that, he was terrible in the playoffs. So, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll cover this last topic and then head out for the night. I know we're cutting it short, but hopefully we'll have everybody here tomorrow night or Sunday night. We'll do one Sunday night with everybody, and then follow back up with the regular schedule next week. Dolphins, man. If you're them, do you keep banking on Tua, or do you move on? I know he had, his high numbers this year like he always has, but you gotta realize, man, he's got a stud to the left and a stud to the right.
He's got a Ferrari and a Lambo. I don't think he's the guy.
No. It's cool that you have those guys, and you're making big stats, but you're not winning games. Essentially, the way I say it.
You're also kind of wasting them. Like, you're wasting the talent that you got, because everyone who's ever watched a game can see that he struggles hitting 40-yard passes. Like, if you give Josh Allen those two options, or which we've seen what Patrick Mahomes does with Tyreek, dude, they're like absolutely electric.
100%.
And I'm not saying Tua is bad, but I don't think he's a Super Bowl quarterback.
No.
When you talk Super Bowl, I know it's a team sport, but a quarterback gets you in opportunities to win
Right.
Super Bowls. And when you see like big stat guys, like another Miami quarterback that they had that never won a Super Bowl, and Marino, great stats guy, never won a Super Bowl. Tua is one of those guys. He's not a Super Bowl guy. It don't matter what kind of team you put around him, because they put an absolute ridiculous offense
I mean,
around
they're not lacking on defense either.
No, their defense is fairly good, but he's just not that guy. Like, I mean, they got embarrassed by the Chiefs, and you can say it's a cold game all you want, but good teams get over the fact that it's cold.
Exactly. That ain't gonna be the
I
first
mean,
cold game he plays all year. I mean,
no, I mean,
regardless of your location.
It's not gonna be the last either. Like, that's something you got to get over. I mean, you can't go into a game in the playoffs and your max pass you're throwing is 5 yards. You're not gonna win games doing that. So I think I don't know where you move because you're not really in a position to pick a quarterback in the draft, and there's not many free agents to look forward to. But going back to the Trevor Lawrence thing, that would be a hell of a steal if they could manage Trevor Lawrence.
I agree with you 100%. But from there, we will cut it short tonight at 36 minutes. No, it ain't our normal podcast length, but didn't have everybody with us tonight, missing a couple. Which I do know.
Brandon's also having him a little tummy ache.
And dog's trying to break down my door at the moment, so it's awesome. We'll head back in Sunday and see what we can do then. Hopefully we'll have everybody together. But at least we was able to put, 37 minutes on the board tonight. At least give somebody a little something to watch. Hope everybody has a good night, has a good weekend. Cheer for the right teams this weekend. Let's pull for Baltimore. Nobody wants to see this Kelsey Super Bowl. But I can assure you that after the game, if we win, you will see me on here. Regardless if anybody else joins, you'll see me on here. So,
we'll probably make a quick something or another for maybe even during the games. Get on here and talk a little bit. Because I think they're going to be two great games. Probably going to see me mad because I might lose money. I threw a little bit of cash at the Chiefs just because of the whole storyline they got going on this year. I mean, this is the DLC pack, dude. This is the NFL DLC pack.
But on that note,
real quick, I do want to talk about Dave Canales, just because that was kind of a signing out of left field as well. For Carolina.
I was trying to give you the benefit of the doubt, not talk about it.
I know I said we talked about this a little bit last night. I don't think you could hire anybody. I don't think you could resurrect Vince Lombardi from the dead and win games with Carolina. But I do think Canales is a huge win for Bryce Young.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because he is a great quarterback guy. He resurrected Baker, and there's been some other quarterbacks he kind of brought back to life. Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
He was Russell Wilson's quarterback coach, offensive coordinator, I guess. Russell Wilson played great up until he was no longer his quarterback coach or offensive coordinator. And he threw for like under 64% completion for the first time ever without him. So, I think if for anybody, he's the best chance at developing Bryce Young into a serviceable quarterback. Even though I think he's also a guy you're never going to win a Super Bowl with that dude. I don't care. I'm gonna pull for him. I'm not ever gonna turn my back on my teams. But I think we're gonna be kicking ourselves down the line when we have to pick a new quarterback at the number 1 overall when we inevitably have it again. So I just wanted to put my 2 cents on. I think he is great, but also I don't trust David Tepper to.
Yeah.
He wants to win so bad, but you have built the worst cesspool I've ever seen as an owner. And quit giving, I get you on the team, but shut up and let the coaches do their job. Don't even put your input in it anymore. Because you suck. For you to let anyone say, hey, let's trade McCaffrey and DJ Moore. Yeah, you're an idiot. So, all right.
Well, I hope all y'all have a good night, man. We'll be